What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the hoetohusbandpodcast. I'm your host, Terry Duran. I got my co-host, Jay Baba, on the line with me. What's going on, Jay?
Not much. Looking to get forward to getting to another great episode tonight. But just want to tell you, you can catch us on the Black Podcast Awards for the awards that we've been nominated for: Best Black Podcast, Best Black Relationship Podcast, and Best Black Sex Podcast.
What's up?
So you can catch it. That's this Thursday, September 30th, 8 p.m. Go follow Black Podcast Awards on Instagram. You can watch it live there, and I believe you can watch live on their YouTube channel as well.
All right, that's what's up, man. I'm definitely glad we got nominated and getting some recognition. We don't got EB with us this week. He's adjusting to fatherhood, so he had to miss this episode. So we'll definitely have him back next time.
Definitely congrats to him on and the addition to his family.
Yeah, congrats, bro.
He's a first time father, so y'all definitely congratulate him, man.
Yeah, man. We got an interesting topic tonight. Tonight's topic is dating at Amazon, and we're basically just going to be talking about the dating market and how the internet and social media has impacted it. So I figured that was a good play on the marketing topic. But before we get into that, we try to discuss some of the things that we've seen on our timelines or that have went viral. And we got a couple of videos this week. This first video is a woman talking about how she was raised and how she handled the first date. Let's hear what she had to say.
Ooh, I know this one's gonna leave a whole lot of little comments. Let me see what y'all got to say about this. So let's get into this story time. So I went on a little outing, and at the end of the outing, the tab for the meal came. So I decided to get the tab. He says, no, I have to be the gentleman and pay for this meal. I said, no, you can be a gentleman and leave the tip. He says, man, who raised you? You're a different breed. I said, my father raised me. I said, my father raised me not to be selfish. I said, my father also told me that any relationship, whether it's work, whether it's friendship, whatever it is, it's about give and take. And you have to make sure that you're not always the taker. I also explained to him that, hey, I understand you could pay for the meal. You could pick up everyone else's tab, and heck, he could buy 3 or 4 restaurants, and I mean 5-star. But I didn't want him to understand. I wanted him to understand that every woman is not like that. And there may be more times that we get together and he may pay for the meal or I may pay for the meal. But ladies, we got to do better. Come on.
I love the attitude. A woman's mentality on money and stuff like that is huge. It always comes up with the 50-50 and what a woman will pay for or whatnot. And I always view a woman that is really cautious about spending her own money on stuff as a red flag. If you dealing with a woman and you see that type of attitude early on, in my opinion, you'd have to be a damn fool to be seriously dating a woman like that. But dudes do it all the time, you know what I mean? Like where they have this mentality where I'm just gonna spoil her and I'm gonna pay for everything and I'm gonna prove how macho and manly I am. Like that's foolish to me.
That is, and I've said this on previous episodes. If I go out on a date with a woman, 3 dates and she doesn't offer to pay one time, I say that's selfish, and she just reinforced what I've said on previous episodes there. And I don't understand it. And here's the thing, right? Okay, I need to show her that I can pay for these days, and I'm the consummate gentleman. I mean, listen, you'll have plenty of opportunities. Listen, if y'all vibing on that kind of level, if the interest is there, you'll have plenty of opportunities to pay for a day.
Yeah, like a person that genuinely wants to be around you or is genuinely interested in you is not really pressed about where you go or how much you spend to entertain them. And so when that's the focal point, when that's something that a woman's making a big deal about, that's a red flag. But on the flip side, a lot of guys have came to realize that going on a lavish date, running up a big tab and buying a section and all that stuff, that's an easy way to impress chicks that are very materialistic. And that represents a large percentage of women in this generation. So guys do it because they look at it as an investment, like or it's just money. You know what I'm saying? Like
that too. But that you also hear it on the music you listen to, right? How many songs that came out is "It Ain't Tricking If You Got It"? Take her to this expensive restaurant.
They rich, so
yeah, exactly.
But when But when regular people are comparing what they do to millionaires, they tripping already. You know what I mean? Like Drake spending money or on something lavish, or like I saw an article, a headline today that Diddy gave Joey Chavis, Future and Bow Wow's baby mama, like $1 million birthday gift or some shit. Like, okay, so like it's not a big deal to Diddy. He's obviously got the money. But those type of men exist where and we'll kind of it spills into tonight's topic. The way that they view themselves on the market value is largely based off of money, and so it's almost impossible for women to actually get in healthy relationships when their approach to dating is centered around finances. We got another topic, another video. Now, this video, man, this just shows you the type of world that we in and the level of insecurity that some people have. This is a father explaining what happened with his daughter's lash salon.
Let me tell y'all women about these weak, insecure ass niggas y'all fuck with. I'm at the shop. Young girl just got her lashes did by my daughter. I asked her, would you leave the shop a review? I do with everybody who come in. She dude outside blowing honking the horn, so she said, man, I'll just do it later. I said, cool. They get in the car, pull off. 2 minutes later, he pulled back around. I'm to the door, I open the door, I said, what's up? What you say to her? The fuck you say to her? Like, what? I said, bro, I asked her to leave a review, you all right? I said, man, you can't be that insecure. The nigga just get mad and pull out his gun and shoot me. Went in here, came out here. Man, y'all women with these.
Now, first of all, I'm thankful that he survived and he's able to tell us the story, because that could have went way, way, way worse than that.
Right.
But dudes in this generation are so crazy over the silliest stuff. Like, what type of logic do you have to have where you shoot a guy for asking your woman to leave a business review for somewhere where she just got a service done?
Honestly, that's lame as hell. If you press every dude, like, what do you gonna press every dude that looks at your woman or even says something to your woman? Like, that's lame as hell, number one.
Man, it's a crazy world we live in. Like, and it's funny because I just started carrying a weapon a couple of months ago, and my wife and daughter keep asking me, why are you bringing your gun everywhere, and why you got your gun? like, man, it's like, and I'll be like, man, you don't know who's gonna roll up on us, or who's gonna, when something's gonna go down.
That's funny you say that to you. Now here in New Jersey, gun laws are a bit strict. It's not open carry like it is in Texas. But now when I do go out of town, if I'm leaving the state, say I'm going to Pennsylvania, Virginia, whatever, I carry with me as well.
Man.
That's just the reasons you just said. You just don't know who's out there. And you got guys like this to even do stuff like that. So at least in that situation, hey, you're able to protect.
Listen to what he said. You pull off and leave the business. You drive all the way back to go ask a dude what he said to your girl. Like, bro, did you think he was in there trying to fuck your old lady or something? Like,
yeah,
I don't get it. Like, if you are that distrustful of somebody, you don't need to be with them.
Exactly.
But, man, there are a bunch of stories about crazy exes and stalkers and all this type of stuff where dudes can't control their emotions when it comes to women.
But yeah, and great point there. We see this on these crime TV shows, on the Detail, Fatal Tragedy, where the person ends up dying, because like you said, it was a crazy ex or insecure boyfriend.
Yeah.
He killed the girlfriend and the dude that she was supposedly messing with.
Yeah, man. I've heard about situations like that. In Houston, people that we actually know. And it's sad, man, because there are kids involved a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like, and thankfully, this situation, hopefully the dude's in jail. You know what I mean? But that could have went way less.
Exactly. And just, and just think about this. Just think about what you just said, right? Is it, people think it's really worth risking their freedom to do something like this, right? You possibly could, if you kill somebody, you probably spend the rest of your life in jail, all because of your insecurities, because you thought your woman was flirting with the dude, or the dude was trying to flirt with your.
And what's gonna happen when you serving life in prison?
You're gonna be there with a bunch
she's
of
gonna
dudes.
be out here fucking. Yeah, your life is gonna be fucked up, but she's gonna be out fucking somebody else. Exactly. You know what I mean? Like, so it's dudes that think like that. I can't rock with them, obviously, because our logic is nowhere near the same.
It's not worth your freedom.
Yeah, it ain't worth hurting nobody or doing nothing that could potentially get you killed. Because what if you shot him in the arm? What if the dad, was able to get to his weapon? You know what I mean?
And mind you, has the proper firearm training too. Hey, maybe he just don't miss with it.
Yeah, man, it's a sad situation, but I just pray my daughter don't date crazy dudes like that. You know what I mean? Like, she's approaching that age where dates and all that's gonna be coming up. So we gonna see how that goes. Let's keep the ball rolling, man. We're about to respond to some of the questions that we've been getting in our DMs. If you would like to have your question put on the podcast, make sure you shoot it to us in our DMs at the Ho the Husband Podcast. Well, we got this episode, Jay.
We got our first question. We got Mia from the City of Angels, Los Angeles, California.
All right.
She wants to know, do men like the same attention as women?
No, not to that degree.
Right.
Men ain't getting up twerking and doing all type of stuff in public like that. I don't necessarily think most guys just crave attention like in general. I think for most guys, they want to get positive reactions from the women they're interested in.
Right. I think I think there's fundamental differences between men and women. Like, women base their desirability based on the attention she's getting, right? I think the female equivalent of an orgasm is based on what attention she gets. That's why you see these women posting half-naked pictures or videos on Instagram to get a bunch of likes and views and follows, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's the social media aspect of it can apply to men and women, because dudes do that too. But I mean, I don't see as many guys. The guys that go out their way to get attention and all that are usually gay dudes. They're the ones going out their way to get attention and dancing and doing all that type of stuff. So for most straight guys, they don't seek the gratification and validation that a lot of women seek. Constantly having to be reassured and told that they beautiful and that they sexy and all that type of stuff.
Right.
Because if you think about it, the chicks that's posting their ass, it's the same same poses over and over again, same comments, the same responses. Like, what you twerking in your thong's gonna do. You know what I mean? But they still
like you don't you don't get a fresh cut or fresh shape of saying, hey, don't I look good with the new cut there? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that hey, don't these clothes look good on me? Like, you see women do that. Women put on that dress is like, well, I look good in this. Don't I look cute in this dress? Or don't I look good in this hairstyle?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really. We're not women, but the men don't really compliment one another on their appearance like that either. Like, I don't be like, shit, my partner, we swole. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't do all that. You know what I mean? Like, because I think for guys, it's not our success with dating is not really predicated on looks that heavily.
Right.
Obviously, being attractive or being handsome helps, but it's not the end all be all. It's a lot of ugly dudes, a lot of fat dudes that can be successful women, because they got other stuff that they can use.
Exactly. Just think, like Biggie was considered a sex symbol. Biggie was fat, out of shape, cross-eyed. So, I mean, most things I guess people would consider unattractive, but he was considered, a sex symbol.
Yeah, he worked his jelly to the max. What else we got, Jay?
We got Kiki from Pennsylvania. So she wants to know. She says, "So my my boyfriend lately has been busy with work, and he said he's been tired and busy. So I'm supposed to be getting eye surgery, and he tells me he'll see me after I get my surgery, which is after the recovery, which is 8 weeks. Should I cut it off with him or continue to be with him?"
He's not gonna see her for 8 weeks.
Yeah, after she gets her eye surgery, her recovery time is 8 weeks. So he's saying he'll see her after the recovery.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that don't sound.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, here, basically every time she's trying to get him, he's always busy with work or has other things. Every time she initiates trying to see him. So I mean, I don't know. This doesn't sound like that's definitely not a good thing when a guy's doing that.
Yeah, he's definitely not as invested in this relationship as you are. This doesn't sound like a scenario that is likely to last. I can't think of a scenario where a dude's his woman is about to have a major surgery and he's not gonna see her for 2 months for the whole recovery period. Like
Okay.
that's
most
unless there's some facts that we missing. That she gotta travel to do the surgery, like or something where he's not able to get to you. But if you in the same city with him and he just told you that, I don't necessarily know if that's worth breaking up or dumping them over. But it does, and it says a lot. It says a lot about how he views you and the type of person he is as a man. I think you should make your own decision.
Right. I mean, I don't know. Like you said, it doesn't sound like he's invested. It doesn't sound like the interest is on even playing field there, for lack of better description. So like you said, I think you just got to evaluate, see if this is a practical dating situation. If he keeps giving these excuses that he's just too busy, I don't think he's interested.
Yeah, if you're not spending time with him already, then what's there to fight for or hold on to?
Exactly. Like, listen, if somebody has interest on that kind of level, I mean, listen, they'll find time in the schedule to come see you. I'm sure. I mean, unless you're telling me he's working 20-hour days at work or something.
Yeah, it got to be something extreme. This sounds like he's intentionally not spending time with you, but you got to be the judge, sis. You put your feelings to the side and use your logic on this one.
Yeah.
All right, we look like we're up against the clock. We're about to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be getting into our topic of the night, dating on Amazon, and how the dating market is impacted by internet and social media. You are tuned in to the Ho the Husband podcast. We'll be back momentarily. Hi, I'm relationship coach and author Terry Duran, and I am pleased to announce that my book, It's Not That Complicated, is finally available as an audiobook. So if you don't like to read or you just don't have time to read a paperback book, this audiobook is perfect for you. You can listen to it while you're in your car, while you're at work, etc. In the book, I break down how husband material men think and operate in regards to sex, love, and relationships, and I provide real quality insight on how husband material men approach dating. The audiobook is available on audible.com and on iTunes. All you have to do is go to one of the websites and search for my name, Terry Duran. Go download your copy today. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Ho the Husband podcast. Tonight, we are talking about dating on Amazon and how the dating market is impacted by the internet and social media. Before we continue, I want to give a shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background audio. I want to also give a shout out to those of y'all that have been donating to the podcast through our Cash App and our PayPal. Make sure y'all keep the donations coming. We definitely appreciate it. I'd also like to remind y'all that y'all can catch the audio playback of the podcast every Monday afternoon at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time on thecore94.com. All right, so tonight's topic, we are talking about the dating market and how that plays out or how that operates in 2021. So I wanted to start out with the definition of a market. The definition of a market is a regular gathering of people for the purchase of sale of provisions, livestock, and other commodities. obviously that doesn't directly apply to the dating market. So I came up with a definition for the dating market. The dating market is the meeting and interaction with people you have a sexual or romantic interest in. So that's how we decide who we gonna spend our time with, who we're ultimately gonna end up having sex with, and who we're gonna end up getting in relationships with or marrying, etc. Now, there are a bunch of different things that come into play in the dating market, but I don't know. Maybe you can let me know if you agree or disagree. But
Gotcha.
I seem to see the people referring to the dating market, primarily women, when they're talking about knowing their worth or their value on the dating market. And that's a component, right? That's fair. Obviously, everything has value and worth, etc. But the problem is, I think that they ignore all the other pertinent aspects of a market system and only focus on that keyword value. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, obviously it's getting popular on social media. These vague generalities, these catchphrases. How many women you see post? I don't do this because I know my worth, and and that's that's a relative term. It's up for interpretation and opinion. It's subjective, right? Because a lot of times, if we're gonna be honest here, there's a lot of women that overvalue themselves. They say they know they're overvaluing themselves. They keep reminding us that they know their worth.
Women, a lot of people get offended when I've used that term on my page, and it got a lot of pushback. The reason that they feel that way is because originally, I think the intention of the phrase "know your worth" was intended for like a woman in an abusive situation, or a situation where she's being mistreated or taken advantage of, and to motivate her, know your worth, you can do it, like that's the intent behind it.
They took it,
but ultimately the way that it gets applied is it becomes this kind of blanket excuse that kind of gets to be used for any dating decision a woman makes.
And here's another word that they use aside from that. I know my worth, and I'm dating with a purpose. Like, and I think you broke that down on a post before. Like, you said we know that dating already has a purpose, but you don't have to. A lot of women want to constantly remind you that they're dating with a purpose. Like, the purpose is you're dating them to see if the interest is mutual, and this is something you may want to pursue something longer term with. That's the purpose.
Right. Well, see, some of the things that come into play in the dating market that don't really get talked about that often are supply and demand. And supply and demand is one of the key components to any market system. Like, you don't really have a market where there's no demand. And so when we're talking about the dating market, women have a much higher desire to get married in committed relationships than men do. Women also have a biological clock that they're up against when they can have children. And so when you look at how that plays out in society, you see the men that women actually want to be with is such a small percentage of guys that those guys' value significantly increases on the dating market based off supply and demand. There's only a few of them. And then out of that small group, a lot of them are already taken. And a lot of them don't want to be in committed relationships. So the percentage that are proposing and interested in marriage is super small. So in marketing terms, that's called scarcity. And that's what drives up the value. But when you talk about that, it makes the pushback, it always seems like when you talk about worth or value, women make it seem like, oh, you're just saying we should do anything, or we should just make any decision, or we have to accept anything.
No, that's not the case. And he said, at the end of the day, the men are the one that is determining the value, whatever value. You could say you're.
There's a better way of saying that.
Mm-hmm.
They decide. A woman can state, I'm worth this. In order to date me, you have to do A, B, and C. The man gets to decide if he's going to accept that offer or not. He gets to decide if you are worth it to him. And so on the dating market, if none of the men decide that you are worth committing to, that you are worth marrying, that you are worth having a family with, then that should tell you that your value or your perception of yourself does not match reality. Because the market, the guys that are in your dating pool that are interacting with you and fucking you and etc., if they're not choosing to do those things with you, that's
Yeah,
telling.
just think of it like this, right? Okay, you have a car. Let's just say you have a 2010 Honda Accord, right? It would, obviously the mileage and all that is gonna, dictate its value. And there's a Kelly Blue value. It's like saying, hey, no, it's worth more than that because you said it is. No, obviously the Kelly Blue Book, the mileage and everything is going to determine the value of that car, the vehicle that you're selling.
The one good thing about a market, there's this rule of thumb: something is worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. So there are suckers and simps out there that will kiss a woman's ass and beg to be with her and do all these type of things. And so that leads women to believe that they're worth it. You know what I mean? But it doesn't really compute with the guys that they want. Those guys that are offering to pay, I'll pay your bills and I'll do this and I'll do that. They're doing that because they're not having the success that the dude that's not paying your bills is having. And so I think women need to get a better understanding of the dating market and how it actually works, because the way that they throwing these cliches and these terms around, a lot of these women are going to end up being single for a very long time.
Absolutely.
Now, another key component of a market system is competition. There's always going to be competition. People are trying to sell something. People are trying to make more money, and people that are actually shopping want to get the value, which is the most return with the least amount spent. I don't think that computes directly to dating, but there is fierce competition for the men and women that are highly desired in the dating market.
Yeah.
The men that women really want to be with have multiple options. They have multiple women that are willing to have sex with him, date him, and be with him. Women, especially attractive women, have unlimited men that are trying to sleep with them. The difference is, though, the percentage of men that want to sleep with them and the percentage of men that want to accept everything that comes with being a man and building a life with them is drastically different. And I don't think a lot of women really realize that.
Right. And when you speak competition, I think there's competition on both sides. Like, for example, for men, obviously, making more money, making yourself more marketable towards women, right? There's competition there, and vice versa, right? Are you putting your best for a woman? Are you putting your best foot? Are you making sure you're in the gym, or that you're in shape? When you go out, do you make sure you look good with this hairdo, makeup, things of that sort?
Yeah, you have to do upkeep and maintenance. You have to invest in yourself to make yourself desirable on the market. Now, some people are obviously blessed or luckier than others. Some women are just naturally fine. They don't need the surgery and they don't have to work out that much. But everything is relative. Like, you don't have to be perfectly athletic to be successful as a man or a woman. There are people that are attracted to overweight men and women.
Right.
It just, you have to understand your market and how to market yourself. You have to be able to play to your strengths. You know what I mean? Like, if you overweight dude, then your conversation game better be up. You better be able to cook. You better be able to do some other things that can make up for you being overweight. You know what I mean? Or not as desirable physically. Another thing that I wanted to talk about that comes up a lot is buyer's choice. Like, we talked about it earlier with the know your worth thing, but it's like whenever men talk about their preferences in women, it always creates a negative backlash. Because women can talk about what they want, what they won't accept, who they won't deal with. But the minute men talk about, well, I don't deal with these chicks, whoever that group of chicks is automatically take offense to the man not being interested in.
Yeah, that's what you say, because we see this with Kevin Samuels with the calls he take. These women call and say, "Hey, I want a hiring dude. I want a 6-figure dude," right? and he's saying, well, why would they want you? What do you bring for them to want you? Do you look your best? And he's asking these questions, and that's what people. That's what gets a lot of push. He's getting a lot of pushback for that. But they're fair questions there, right?
Yeah, they want the man in tip top condition.
Yeah.
When they not nowhere near that.
Yeah, and then you have to realize with the guy that's at that level, that guy has a ton of options at his disposal. He has the he obviously has money and resources to get just about any woman he wants in anywhere in the country or even the world for that matter.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of times, even just having money doesn't guarantee a guy success with women.
No,
I don't view paying a woman for her time, companionship, and pussy as success. A guy with money could do that indefinitely, you know what I mean? But it's not going to be genuine. She's not going to be feeling him for who he is. She's going to be there for what she gets out of the situation. That works for some guys, you know what I mean? But I don't really see that as being successful with women. That's you just paying for a service, for lack of a better term.
Right, you're paying for her time and all that. So yeah, it's basically like this. It's like buying a trophy without earning it. Doesn't get the same respect.
Yeah, I mean, and then when you think about the society we live in, with the internet, with the connectivity to all these other people, the people's dating market, where it used to be your local town or the people that you came into contact with physically, now it's literally the whole world. You can get on different apps, you can get on different websites, you can connect with people in different ways. You find out about different events in different ways, etc. And so your potential to meet somebody that you could potentially date or end up having a romantic interaction with is exponentially higher. Those are the same reasons that people have trust issues and fear of cheating, etc., because of the way technology has impacted dating. And then it's created also a real large gray area where it may not be physical cheating, but it could be exchange. It could be sexting. It could be having sexual conversations. It could be sliding in somebody's DM. Yeah, it could be something. And y'all could be in two different countries or two different cities or something where y'all really ain't never even planned on linking up. But it could still violate or disrupt the person's dating situation or their actual relationship. So those type of things come into play too. You know what I mean? Like how you conduct yourself and how you market yourself to the world, online and offline, impacts how people, how interested they are in being with you or seriously dating you. So ladies, beware. You know what I mean? Like posting sexual and very attractive videos and photos. You're gonna get a lot of love from that. But that may cause a problem when it comes to the men that you actually desire.
Exactly.
He gonna hit. He's definitely gonna be interested in hitting. But when it comes to the point where you start asking the magic questions, Jay, where are we doing? Where are we going? And all that. A lot of times, how you present yourself to the public is gonna come into play when it gets to that point. And unfortunately,
I
was gonna say a lot of women get a negative reaction when they see how guys view women that are like that.
Right. I mean, they'll, at the end of the day, those guys will sleep with you, but they're not gonna necessarily take you seriously.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it, because technically or factually speaking, almost all dating situations are temporary. Even if you end up getting married or having kids, it's gonna last longer than others, but it's temporary to some degree. And so, what's more valuable to you, or what are you more concerned with? Long-term relationships where you're trying to build a life for somebody, or just flings that you enjoy for a couple of months or years at a time? I don't know. I guess there ain't no right or wrong. But the way that society's set up now, I think most people are just in a circumstance where they're not going to get the happily ever that they've probably been yearning for. For a variety of reasons.
Right. Yeah. Another one we got here. We got buyer's choice in the dating world. Men are the ones that's going to shoot their shot at the women 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. Women ain't walking up to guys because women want to avoid the rejection. So they don't take the risk. They don't put themselves in a position to actually get the person that they want in a lot of cases. So in the dating market, they're very passive, and so that it makes it a lot more difficult for you to actually achieve your goals when you're just waiting for something to happen instead of actively hunting and trying to put things in place to make it happen the way guys have to operate. So I think that's one of the biggest reasons that men are able to consistently meet their relationship goals and women aren't, because for one, the relationship goals that most guys have are a lot easier to attain, to consistently get time, attention, and pussy. Ooh, very easy to do. Yeah. Compared to what most women want: committed relationship, be with me forever, accept all my flaws and my baggage, etc. Like those are two very different thresholds to meet. And so women have to operate in a more strategic way to end up meeting theirs.
Yeah, exactly. Ladies, most of the time men shoot their shot, right? Now, when a woman giving a dude a number and she's interested in him like that, 9 times out of 10, she's hoping to get a committed relationship and hopefully, parlay that into a marriage there, right? Because think about it, not even when a guy says, "Hey, listen, I'm not really looking for nothing like that, just looking, see what's up, have fun, whatever." A lot of women will act like they're okay with that, and then it's 2-3 months down the line, well, what are we doing here? We can't keep doing this here. You're doing boyfriend stuff. These only benefits I do for my boyfriend, husband, significant other, whatever. It's, so yeah,
same old thing, man.
Right. You said women have to be more strategic. Yeah, they do, but I think some of them are going about it wrong. Not totally saying. Now, some will be upfront and say, "Hey, I want a committed relationship. I want something longer term." But you have a lot of times where, because men don't go into situations saying, "Hey, I'm trying to meet someone in the marriage," right? They're like, if it happens,
most guys play exactly. You're open to it, but when a man says, "I'm not looking for that," that means he's not anxious for it. So he's not pressed the way most women are. The women that date with a purpose and all those type of things, where they're passive aggressively trying to get guarantees and assurances about the future.
Right.
They want you to let them know where it's going to go, even though you don't have no way of telling, because dating is fluid. Something could happen at any moment that causes you to cut somebody off and never interact with them again. So there is no way to predict or get an actual guarantee of what's going to happen in any dating situation. So you have to have that in mind in order to have your sanity in the dating world.
Exactly.
All right, man. It looked like we are up against the clock, so we're about to get up out of here. Before we go, I want to give another shout out to my man, Brother Soul Productions, for keeping us laced with our background audio. I want to give another shout out to all y'all that have been supporting the podcast. Keep the donations coming, even if they small. They add up, and we definitely appreciate it. Jay, man, I appreciate you linking up with me so we can get this knocked out. EB, take care of that little girl, man. Get you some rest and be ready for next episode. This has been another episode of the Ho to Husband Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Peace.